Mine says we're streaming.
Oh yeah, okay. It's always like a little bit of delay. And we're live. All right. Hello, all you crazy happy event planners, sponsors, speakers, attendees out there. I am so happy to have Larissa Russell on the show with us today. And Larissa's got a very special event coming up called the Loving, Healing, Creating Summit. And so we definitely are going to dig into that. But Larissa, as a person, first, is this amazing individual who has really taken art and figured out a way to show it to the world so that we can all be better people, so that we can heal and grow ourselves. And so I love this topic so much. Larissa, you're also a best-selling author, yes?
Yes.
And so what is the name of your book?
That one is The Power of Why. And that was a collaboration book with different entrepreneurs and why we do what we do. And so it was an international bestseller. I have other books as well, but that one sort of, made the global rounds, if you will.
Amazing. So that's a great place to start. So let's start with your why. Why is it that you do what you do?
Well, I've always been a creative person, right? And then I've always been sort of a seeker as well. And so psychology is my background from school. And the other part of it, though, is I suffered from depression for years and years and years, off and on, postpartum and others. And about 7 or 8 years ago now, I had a really bad bout of depression that hospitalized me, almost took my life. And I realized that if I was going to do something, make changes, I couldn't rely on the system. I couldn't rely on our healthcare system. And so I needed to do something different. And that's where my creativity stepped in and started that healing journey for me. So started with the journaling, then got back into my painting and doing all of that. And to the point where my life was completely different. And I knew I just had to share that with other people. And that's why the healing part of creativity is so important to me.
Wow. I mean, I got the goosebumps while you were talking. This is the second time now that you've given me the goosebumps since we started chatting, not live, but prior you gave me the goosebumps too. But love that story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you did say something, you said, I got back into my painting. So have you always been a creative? Like how long would you consider yourself an artist?
Well, I've only probably in the last 10, maybe 5 years, let's be honest, 5 years considered myself an artist.
Okay.
But in truth, I've always been an artist, right? Because I create. And anytime you create, you're an artist.
Yes.
So have I called myself that my whole life? No. Am I? I have been my whole life. Absolutely.
And like, what do you say to people who go, oh, I can't do that kind of work. I'm not an artist.
I hear I'm not creative. I'm not an artist every single day. And I call BS because we all are. We may create in different ways. And maybe it's not drawing or painting or writing music or whatever it is, but everybody has creativity in them. Everybody has something that they want to release. And it could be creating a business or creating a spreadsheet. I make amazing spreadsheets, color, different font, all the things, right? So whatever your creative outlet is being creative. Now, as far as being an artist, if you are creating art in any form, whether it be a garden or baking, whatever it is, you are an artist. Just because you don't sell it as a professional artist does not make you not an artist,
I love
right?
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's like a big misperception of, creating and artwork and all the things. And speaking of artwork, the artwork behind you is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
So,
you.
since we are on YouTube, people can see it, but I love that color and the whole like the blues and turquoise greens, like it's so beautiful. I'm sure we could talk about color psychology for like days too, but we'll hold off on that. So I want to talk about, of course, the summit. And so all this kind of led now to where you are in helping others, which then led you to create the summit. Now you do other summits too, but I want to start here. So when you created this is your third annual. Yes, this
Mhm.
will be your third one. And it is coming up here March 2nd through the 14th. And I just want to direct folks real quick. You can go to creative u and not YOU, just the letter u.ca. And then if you click on programs, you can get to where it is that you can actually register for the Loving, Healing, Creating Summit. So tell us a little bit about what the summit is and how it kind of like came to be.
So this was my first summit that I created, well, now 3 years ago, when I was building my online business, because I've been teaching off and on for 30 years in person. But online, I was new and I wanted to, and this was pre-COVID. So I did, although COVID has really helped with bringing more people online.
Yeah, of course.
But I wanted to share that healing aspect of creativity. So we bring together healers and creatives and the healing energy of creativity. So it's all workshop based. So learning throughout it. We don't have a lot of talking heads. We have a few talking heads, but they'll have really important information to share. Otherwise, it's a lot of creative projects to do, things like that.
Yes.
It is free. Each presenter gets 3 days free. So you can access every presenter for 3 days for free, or you can upgrade right now for $47. And as of March 2nd, it goes to 67. So, you might want to jump on that.
So get on it now. Okay,
Yeah.
so great. So but it's March 2nd through the 14th. I mean, that's a time
13
span, right?
days.
Okay,
13.
so how many presenters do you have?
This year we have 22 sessions. We try not to
Amazing.
overwhelm every day because we want people to actually be able to sit with the workshops and do them, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
So give us kind of some of the I'm trying to look here. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So give us some of the workshops that that are happening. Like give the audience an idea of what they might be
We
signing
have
up for.
everything from creating a sexual magic ritual
I see that,
to
yeah.
art journaling pages to meditation. We have a lot of like visual art. We have a lot of visual artists that take part in it. So art journaling, watercolor, many different things like that, and then also some chakra work, creating your own journals, different things like that. Yeah. So there's just every year there's an abundance of new things,
Yeah.
new presenters. We bring back some presenters and then we add new presenters, and we've had almost 31 year. This year is a little tougher with getting people because everybody's my presenters
Yeah.
are just feeling a little overwhelmed this year. So we have a smaller group this year, but the content is amazing. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So let's talk about that for a moment because mostly there's a lot of event planners that listen to the show. So you say like your presenters feel a little overwhelmed right now, and I think other event planners might be feeling similar things with speakers and bringing speakers in, whether it's live or online. So what kind of challenges are you seeing right now from that aspect?
Oh, we're all tired. We're tired. And I think last year at this time we had a lot of hope, right? Because the vaccination was coming up,
said.
and
Yeah.
we were like, oh, we're going to be back to normal, soon. And this year, with everything that's happened, people are just tired. We're 2 years into this. Life has settled into a different pace. And when we do a lot, we get exhausted by it, right? Because we're not used to the peopling of events. And so when we have a lot of content that we're creating, it's overwhelming. And I've had this has been the most challenging summit yet. I think I've done about 12, 13, maybe a few more, at least 12 summits in the last 3 years. And this has been the most challenging one by far, with people dropping out, people just like, I can't, last minute, we had to push it back. Normally we hold this one in February. We had to push it back because people were just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I get you. I get you.
And isn't that like the sole reason why you're putting it on though too, right? For the
Yeah.
audience, because they likely feel a lot of the same things that your presenters are feeling. And
Yeah.
what a great outlet to be able to come and kind of work through some of that. So, and I want to talk about that too, because I feel like maybe we skipped over it for some people who don't understand what like creative healing is. So, like how can, if you were to walk me through a creative healing, let's say painting, like how, what does that even mean? Like, what does that look like?
Well, and that's a really good question, but it's going to look different from everybody who presents it and everybody who attends it. But all creativity in itself is healing, right? But when we actually put intention into what we're creating, that healing can be exponential. So, for instance, if you're doing a watercolor piece and you get into that flow, right? And we call it the flow because it's like you lose yourself in what you're doing. And it may be a repetitive design, or it may just, but you stop thinking about the end product, right? When we think about the end product is when that anxiety comes up in our creativity, whether it be, our garden or, what we're baking or whatever. But when we can just enjoy what we're doing and get into that flow, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And so that's really the healing aspect of it. We also do things like in my membership, and I have a program called Morning Calm where we do meditation and journaling, and discussion. Our prayer flag program, same thing. We do a lot of meditation and discussion parts. I'm a huge proponent of journaling, because that is where, when we create and then we journal about it, that healing aspect is like just over the top. Yeah.
So I like that. And I feel like there's a lot of talk around journaling and writing. And on one of my other shows, Unlocking Happiness, I was talking to someone about this. I've actually talked to two individuals, and specifically about journaling. And one says that you should journal in the morning for XYZ reason. And another says you should journal right before you go to bed at night for ABC reason. And so I'm just curious, what are your thoughts? Is there like a time you should journal, or should you just do it when you feel it, or when should you do these things?
For me, it depends on what you're using your journaling for. I find morning journaling is a great way to sort of empty out your head and start your day in a clear space. End of the day is to process what you went throughout the day. And throughout the day, like we use a lot with the different projects we do, right? We create and then we journal about it. How did it feel to create that? What came up for you? What were the emotions? So it depends on what the journaling's for.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no perfect time. There's better times for different things, but there's no perfect time in my mind for journaling.
Got it. Okay. I like that answer because, it kind of makes me feel a little bit more free. And not like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. So I want to share something here real quick. I don't normally share my screen on the show, but I just think this is the when you see it, it's got a little bit more of an impact. This is your calendar, by the way. So we're talking about the Loving, Healing, Creating workshop, or summit, but you've got a lot of things going on. So, as I pull up your calendar, this is just for February, but you have Morning Calm, you have this Create With Me, which is a free kind of event that people can show up to and create while you create. You've obviously got your summit. So, how do you hold it all together?
Well, my whole thing is about creativity and making space for that, right? So our Create With Me, we now have two versions. We have in our membership and we have the free. So the free is only twice a month now. But yeah, you just hang out. We just hang out and we create together. We don't have a project, but we just chat. We chat about life. We chat about what we're creating. We talk about supplies. It's just like getting together with friends, right? And then our membership, sometimes we go a little deeper. We'll work on some projects and things, but we just create together, right? We just, do different things, because making space to create. And one of the things about Create With Me is you don't, like, somebody could be crocheting, somebody could be writing, somebody's painting, everybody's doing a different project because it's about creating and making space for creation.
Love
Yeah.
it. I love it. It's like sometimes it's just all about taking the time, right? Like and
Mm,
scheduling the time and saying, I'm going to do this. And
yeah.
when the time is on your calendar, then here we are, you'll do it. So, okay. So you've got many other summits though. So let's talk about your other summits that you have during the year. So tell us what other opportunities you have.
So this year, we've sort of made a set schedule because we've sort of jumped around. Loving, Healing, Creating's been always our sort of core one, and we've jumped around with different ideas. But we've realized that that spiritual aspect is really important for people in their creativity. So we will now have an ongoing art and spirituality summit called Transcendence, and that's in June, goes over top of summer solstice. So this year, that's June 20 to 25th, we're going to have that. And that is all about combining art and spirituality.
Amazing.
Which I'm super excited about. We did an oracle card one last year, which was super popular and just people loved it, but it was a little too limiting, right? And so we want to expand that a little more so we can still bring spirit in, but just expand it a bit more. And then we have our Year in Color, which this year will be the second annual Year in Color. And that is a full 52 weeks. So we do a free version in September with 26 sessions. But if you purchase, you get 52 sessions. So 26 presenters, you'll get 2 from each presenter if you purchase. But you'll get 26 for free if you want to just come in September and hang out. But awesome. We're always looking for new presenters as well. That one's all about color and inspiration.
So are they doing, are they teaching different projects like based on color? Like tell me a little bit more.
All of our summits are workshop based, right? We want people to get their hands in and do things. We want to be showing them different things. Our art and spirituality summit is literally that. How are we bringing spirit into our art? And there's many different ways that can look. A Year in Color is about color and inspiration. So what inspires you? What colors do you work with? But what in life inspires you? Who inspires you? And bringing that inspiration into our work and creativity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're always looking for presenters.
Always looking
for a line for that. Obviously, you're always looking for folks to attend as well. So, and they can get all the information about that at creativeu.ca. You're a little bit of a summit queen here. And so
I have been called that.
I'm wondering, like, from an event planning perspective, I mean, you're juggling the presenters, you're also marketing to get, to fill the seats, if you will, the butts and seats, although virtual. So what kind of challenges does that?
I call it herding kittens. Because really
better than herding cows. I like kittens. Okay.
Herding kittens. Because you have to be fairly organized for a summit. And so I have some things in place now, right? So some things that we do at certain times and certain emails. Although, like everybody else, I've struggled a little bit this year myself with staying on top of things. But we're getting back to it. So our new presenter page will be up, which will have everything outlined ahead of time, and people can then sign up. That'll be up later this week, and people can sign up interest in being a presenter. But then throughout planning the summit, it's like making sure people meet their deadlines, right? So constant emails and, I don't have this from you yet. I don't have that from you yet. And so I do a lot of spreadsheets. I love my spreadsheets. I love color. I love, so I'm all about the spreadsheets.
I like it. Are you using any kind of like CRM system, or are you managing everything on Excel?
Well, I do everything in Google, but yeah, same difference. Yeah. I have tried a number of them.
Yeah.
And I have not loved them. So I have gone back to my spreadsheet, and it's just like, it works for me. So
yeah, that's the creative piece.
There's so many great programs out there, and I think I've tried almost all of them, but for me, it's the spreadsheets, but that doesn't work for everybody, right? But there are some amazing programs out there.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I think, find what works for you and go with it. Like, who cares what anyone else thinks, right? You also have a podcast, yes?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we could keep going. Okay. Tell us about your podcast.
Creative Soul Healing. So I interview healers and creatives, or people who have used creativity in their healing. So abuse survivors, cancer survivors, that sort of thing. And yeah, we are in our third season. I've wrapped up recording our third season, hasn't all released yet. And then, yeah, we're 100 and I think we're 120 episodes in the bag right now. So yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Well, congratulations on that. And when it comes to summits too, I think I saw somewhere where if you are a creative healer or creative and you want to put on a summit, you help them to do that, to figure all that
Yes.
out, right? Spreadsheets and
We have
all.
expanded now into Creative You Business, helping healers and creatives build and grow their online business. And summits is one of the things that we offer. So we did do a summit last year and a summit hosting program, so which we're going to be expanding on this year. So we'll be doing more of that, and then also and we do coaching and that sort of thing for people who are starting out or trying to build their business. Yeah.
Awesome. So whether you are an event planner, a presenter, an attendee, a creative, a healer, an artist, I mean, whoever you are, this episode is for you, an entrepreneur. No, I think it's wonderful and you're doing great things in the world. And so I just want to honor you for a moment because there's a lot of online summits and we see hundreds of them with our company every single week. And some are well, I think the intention might be there. It's not quite there yet, right? Like and there's a lot of scams out there. So I just want to honor you and commend you and thank you for putting all this goodness out to the world. And if people want to connect with you further, what's the best way they can do that?
They can either email me directly, Larissa, Larissa at creativeu, that's the letter U, .ca, or go to our website, creativeu.ca, and connect there because we have links all over the place for you to connect. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, I'm everywhere. I don't know. I'm everywhere now. Pinterest.
Snapchat, just Google me.
I don't have Snapchat.
Oh, okay, just kidding.
And I'm just learning.
We'll be sure to put the links in the show notes here below on YouTube, so folks can just click on it and get connected with you. If you were to describe, this is my last question for you. If you were to describe a happy event planner in one word, what would you use?
Happy event planner in one word. Oh, the first word that popped into my head was fulfilled. And I think that comes from like putting what you believe, love out into the world, right? And seeing it come to fruition. So that's the word that came to me, fulfilled.
Amazing. I'll take that word. That is a dynamic word. So thank you